Katarzyna Filipek lived on the outskirts of the village of Tokarnia in southern Poland. Her husband Mateusz died at the beginning of 1939, and in July she gave birth to her seventh child, son, Franciszek Maria. The widow stayed with the children in a small wooden house with a barn on the edge of the village. In 1942, the German Nazi occupation forces began the next stage of their genocidal policy, the gradual liquidation of Jewish communities in the Subcarpathian region. Jews were already symbolized with the Stars of David, deprived of most of civic rights, forced to live in the ghettos. The perpetrators gradually dehumanized their victims in order to start mass deportations of local Jews to the death camp in Bełżec in August of 1942. Only a few managed to avoid mass rail transports and certain death by desperately fleeing to the forest, seeking help and shelter among their neighbors. Samuel Sternlicht was a known local shopkeeper in Krzczonów. Together with his wife, daughters, son-in-law and grandchildren, he avoided deportation and temporarily found support from the mayor of Tokarnia, Stefan Barglik, and his wife Maria. Before and during the mass deportations, the German authorities informed the local population using posters that any help towards Jews would be punished by the death of a person helping and his or her family. In 1943, a rumor appeared in the village that the mayor was hiding Jews. Stefan Barglik directed the refugees to a wooden house on the edge of the village, Katarzyna Filipek's house. Róża Sternlicht, Hilfstein begged Katarzyna to accept 6 fugitives under her roof. Initially they lived in a barn, and in the winter of 1943-44 they moved to the attic of Katarzyna's house. At the beginning of January 1944, the mayor of the village, Stefan Barglik, under pressure from the Gestapo, led the Germans to Katarzyna Filipek's house. The Germans took all of the hiding Jews to Jordanów and shot them on the very same day.
Szukali Żydów. Niektórzy doniósł, że tu są i wylecieli do góry, do dziś widzę. Pospuszczali ich, potem na sznurze na dół i na bus tu podstawili, pojechali biedoki. Na tym się skończył.
Beginning of February of 1944, a German police patrol brutally interrogated the village mayor Stefan Barglik and his wife Maria at their home. They were arrested together with Katarzyna Filipek and taken to an unknown destination. The 7 children of Katarzyna were left alone. Only after 41 years did they know their mother's burial place. Katarzyna Filipek and Maria Barglik were sent to prison in Nowy Targ. The Zakopane summary court, in a sitting in the Palace villa, sentenced them to death for helping Jews. They were imprisoned in one cell with Helena Migiel, convicted for contacting partisan units. It was Helena who managed to inform her mother in a smuggled secret letter about the day of the execution, March 6, 1944. The execution was carried out in a Bur forest on the outskirts of Nowy Targ, and Helena Migiel's mother witnessed it from hiding. She marked the site with a chapel with a cross, and at the beginning of the 1950s, 3 women were exhumed and their bodies were reburied in a common grave in the Nowy Targ cemetery. Katarzyna Filipek's children got to know this burial site only in 1985 as a result of a resumed investigation into the fate of their mother. Dehumanization is a deliberate process of stripping the victims of their dignity and gradual degrading them in the eyes of witnesses and the perpetrators. But it's also about removing evidence in order to deny the thing as fundamental as the burial site of the victims.